Alright, so we finally have the Deimos Arcana update on PlayStation. And the first thing I actually did, this is not actually kind of planned, but I wanted to get the Sporelacer. And I didn't really know how I was gonna feel about this weapon. I didn't really know what I was gonna do with it. I thought it was gonna be not that great, but it ended up being pretty good actually. And then I also ended up having, getting a Riven for it, which was I'm gonna say it was a fucking amazing luck for me that I got like a not only I think I got like a pretty decent Riven, not something that a lot of people would consider god roll, but I think this is my god roll, the one that I wanted, which is it's like the perfect basically Riven for me. But even without a Riven, I would say this weapon is really good. The secondary Sporelacer is just amazing. It hits hard, and it also has that crowd control or crowd damage capability. So yeah, this thing is pretty good. So the parts that I decided to go for this is the Sporelacer, of course, and then I actually went for a Haymaker because the secondary infested grip was not giving a lot of damage. Like, it actually gives you a lot less damage. So I just went for Haymaker. It does butcher your fire rate a little bit, but with my Riven I'm actually able to get that fire rate back a little bit. And then also I'm using Splat Loader. You can use whichever one, basically max crit chance and less status, even though status is really necessary for this weapon. But I think this is like a pretty good little build. I think these are like pretty good parts for it, and especially it's really good for the Riven that I ended up rolling into, which by the way was really something that I did not expect I was gonna roll. Is the Sporelacer, I think Acri Chronicon, I think Chronicon, which basically adds fire rate, crit chance, crit damage, and then minus damage to Grineer, or not damage to Corpus, not Grineer actually, that's better. Negative damage to Corpus is a lot better. Then we have Hornet Strike, Pistol, and then of course all the other prime target stuff. But I have Lethal Torrent here. The reason being that the fire rate is kind of ass on this thing, so you gotta have that. Of course, I'm also using 60% status mods also here because the status helps actually a lot on this weapon. Like, if you can add that little bit of status, actually adds a lot to this weapon. So yeah, this is the build. So let's actually take it to the simulacrum and check it out. Alright, so in the simulacrum now, we're gonna test it first against level 135 Eximus Heavy Gunner, just because they are basically the toughest ones that I could think of. And as you can see right here, this thing doing pretty decent damage. Considering that these guys have, more health and armor, and also they're Eximus, so they got a little bit more health. But as you can see, this thing can really take on anything. I mean, this thing is insane. Like, the damage it does just on, like, even at this high level, and even with Eximus, is like crazy. Like, low level missions are nothing to this thing. Like, this is really amazing when it comes to just those Eximus enemies. And if you were to take it down to like level 100 enemies, which like, if you let's take it to like level 100 real quick. So if we were to do like level 100 enemies, like, they don't even stand a chance. Like, they got nothing on this thing. Like, this thing is insane. The crit damage on this thing with the Riven is like 8.9, something crazy like that, and like 123% crit chance. That just is killer. That thing is fucking insane. Like, the crit damage on this thing is insane. And also the status, even though like I'm using 260 status mods and they add like 60% status and it's like 28% status, that status, I'm not gonna lie, adds up. Like, that thing really adds up a lot. So yeah, I would definitely say run those dual stat mods on there. And yeah, this thing is crazy. It has crazy damage. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it to the steel path, because that's really where this thing is going to be used a lot. So let's take it there. So in steel pad, it does basically as well as it does in like normal missions. Like it really obliterates enemies. It's really good. I think it's probably like I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the best weapons that I have now to do steel pad. Like I wasn't even gonna try to do steel pad missions, like the daily new steel pad missions that that you can do to get steel essence and shit. I wasn't even gonna try to do that, but with this weapon, it just makes it very easier. Like even with like corrupted Greniers, like it does a lot of damage. Infested are basically gone. Infested, you don't even have to worry about infested with this thing. And then Corpus are, of course, going to be more easier than Grenier. So if this can take out Grenier enemies really quickly, it's really good. Now the only issue with this weapon has to be, if you don't run Pax Charge on this thing, you're going to run out of ammo. That is definitely a thing that I have seen. I think if you do it, if you run like a squad, if you play with a bunch of your friends and shit, you might not run out because you got 4 players in there, so there's like more drops. But by yourself, I think you can run out of the ammo with this thing very quickly. So Pax Charge is a thing, but when you use Pax Charge, for some reason, it adds this delay of reloading where you don't get your ammo back immediately. So the reload is kind of slow. It's kind of like if you had like a Catch Moon, if you had Pack Charge on Catch Moon. So it's kind of like that. I don't know why that is. It's really not good. I don't like it. But I'm gonna have to deal with this. So that's the only thing that you have to deal with if you do put Pack Charge on there, or if you do use like Splat Loader. I think it's gonna be a little bit easier if you use I think Kill Stream. That gives you like more reload speed. But if you use Splat Loader, you're gonna have to wait, I think, a second or two to really get all your ammo back. But I think this is a really great weapon. So yeah, that's basically it. That's all I got. For today, I'm really happy with this weapon. I was really surprised that I got a ribbon for it, honestly. But yeah, this weapon is really great. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you with the next one with some new weapons and shit.